Okay, so especially after running around doing all that stuff, I have no sense of which areas we have and have not read the gravestones, so I think that will probably have to be the end of that. Oh. Oh. Is that the way down? Meet Regis at the cemetery. Let's loot this. In theory, he's over here, though. But I wonder if maybe... Yeah. Guess we go through here, not through that other, like, cave entrance, sort of, crypt. Regis. Open sesame. Oh, Geralt.
Damn it. Locked. No way I got
Some subtlety?
wrong. This is it. Gotta be another way in around here.
Ah, okay. That's gonna be the entrance in that case. Where'd it go? Wasn't bad. It was kind of elevated. It's kind of hard to see it at night, though. Now would be nice to be able to see a little bit more. Oh, okay. Oh, what is this? That's our spot. Okay. Wait, is there anything else around here? Other than this? Annabella and Gwydden de la Tour, arch-patrons killed by a poisoned apple. Oh. Sorry? There is supposedly an enemy, multiple enemies down here as well. Maybe. Do that, and then, oh, Kikimores. Okay. Is there gonna be a warrior or just workers? Just workers is fine. Warrior gets a little complicated. That was a great start.
Fiddles aplenty around here.
That, no, still worker. Okay. Still worker. Okay. Oh, Regis. Where are you, good friend?
Decaying bones. Kikimores must have tunneled into the grave.
You know, really could have cleaned up the place a little bit.
More eggs. Need to incinerate these to ash.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
That's some stench.
Oh, you as well. Is that all? Now we're not the warrior. Okay, that makes some sense. These guys are nasty. I would love to have an Igni. Fortunately, it is just chilling there. Just wait for us to get Igni. Now we'll initiate. It's no problem. No problem. Just waited patiently for us to open up the Igni. Very kind. Okay, so few paths we can go down here. Do wonder if that over there is going to end up being Regis. I don't know which way is the quote-unquote correct way, because normally I would say deliberately go the wrong way in order to get whatever loot there might be. Okay, well that's where the marker is. Let's hop over here. Yeah, we played The Witcher 1, The Witcher 2, and Witcher 3 all one right after the other. So if you are interested in seeing how we got here, that is the way to do so. Ooh, some valuable.
Now in his eye. Ought to use it.
What is this?
Interesting.
It's not where the main quest marker is. So I think this is something entirely different. A knight's oath. Here rests Sir Ramon de Guinchon, On my grave, you will not find the likeness of the man who once lived. I gave my heart, soul, and body to the knightly craft, and I wish to be remembered as a knight. The symbol of chivalry is a naked sword, and that symbol rests above me. A sword that defended my honor, my friends, and my heart. A sword that was closer to me than a brother. The sword that was never stained by the blood of an innocent man. Let it rest on this stone through the ages. And Hammerby, thank you for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the stream. So, Cassis Bodaris is a high rarity sword here. Silver sword. It is good. Whoa, I like the crit stuff. I do like the crit stuff, but then again, it's competing against Erendite, which is no easy task. It is extremely valuable as well. Yeah, so I think if we had not already gotten Erendite, this probably would be our go-to silver sword. But I kind of doubt that we'd swap it out in this situation. And speaking of which, Erendite does need a bit of a repair. But, how much of a repair does it need? 28%. Maybe we'll live for now and wait till it gets to around 40, and then we'll use one of the 40% repairs. But definitely a cool pickup at the very least. And if we'd gotten it a little bit earlier, I think would have definitely been a strong sword for us to use. Oh, okay. Yes? Hello? Don't tell me he's sleeping in a coffin.
A vampire at a cemetery. How much more cliché can you get?
Nothing comes readily to mind.
Could have left the door unlatched.
What of my privacy? I value it rather deeply. Unmolested, especially by unwanted guests, that's my preferred state. Besides, I knew you'd find a way to get in.
True enough. Need to find your friend. I'm hoping you'll agree to help.
I shall do whatever's in my power. Yet what you want or even need must matter little. What matters is what Detlef wants. If he does not wish to be found, you will not find him. Ever. End of story.
Come on. Gotta be some way.
Yeah, you gotta give us a little more than that, Regis.
Vampires can evade detection by the senses, and no divination magic works on us. Even the most precise megascope would be useless.
And this? Could this help?
What did we just hand him? No idea.
Wherever did you get that?
Off one of the beast's victims.
Oh.
Found by a bend in the river. Body was chopped in pieces. 3 of those pieces were hands. Hand with the ring seemed the odd one out. Abruxa had taken an interest in it.
Also, very weird. Smelling it to catch the scent or something? Words, Regis. Words.
It's Detlef's hand, without a doubt.
Oh!
It will do splendidly.
What? Excuse me?
The hand. What do you plan to do with it?
We handed him the hand. Indeed.
Tissue memory retention.
Rings a distant bell. Read about it in Alchemia Oblitera. There's a copy at Kaer Morhen, tattered, nearly disintegrated. But if memory serves, Covenarius never managed to prove it worked.
He did prove it, just never managed to publish his findings. He and I corresponded, you see, after we became friends. Thus, I know he completed his research and performed the first tests. It's complicated, so without delving into details, it is possible to use any piece of tissue to reconstruct what a whole body experienced.
How does it work? We need any special equipment?
We must brew a decoction which Covenarius gave a rather poetic name, resonance. Once imbibed, it sends one into a trance similar to that induced by narcotics. This triggers visions of events linked to strong emotions experienced by the tissue's owner. Picture it as dreaming a fragment of someone's life.
I was gonna say, it reminds me a lot of the
Any chance
Oneirmancer
might
we did
see
previously
what Detloff
with
was
Corey and
doing
Tilly.
just before he lost his hand?
Indeed. Though I also hope resonance will reveal the location of Detloff's hideout.
Okay. So that sounds very useful. What about the ring? I did notice you took a ring off.
Ring's pretty intriguing. Made of no metal I've ever seen. And the ornamentation.
It comes from our home, where we lived before the conjunction of spheres.
Oh.
It's actually mine. I received it from a dear old friend. You might call him a humanist. He saw us vampires as guests here, guests who owe their hosts, meaning you humans and the elder races, respect.
Respect? Meaning not to treat us like cattle to be slaughtered for food?
Precisely. And the reason why I, in turn, gave it to Detloff. To remind him of the ideals my old friend championed.
Huh. Okay. Brew the decoction, now! No. So we can't just, give off a secret signal to summon Detloff?
Can't you just summon Detloff? You're both hired vampires, there's gotta be a way.
If I'm to be entirely candid, there is indeed one. But believe me, we will be better off never availing ourselves of it. It is a last resort. Absolutely.
Last resort? The hell? Why?
There is a being who can summon Detloff. Possesses the authority, even the power, to force him to appear in a given place.
Okay.
The very act of contacting this being, well, it's akin to walking a slack line extended over a chasm filled with molten lava. An exercise as perilous to me as it would be to you. A risk I'm unwilling to take. I beg you, let's do it my way. It will be both quicker and easier.
Okay, if you say so. Then again, I suppose that does suggest that maybe we will face that risk later on. But sounds like we got ourselves a decoction to brew.
Covenarius spent half his life proving his theory. Wild guess. Making a dose of resonance won't be easy.
You guessed correctly. In addition to Detloff's tissue, we shall need a powerful occipital lobe stimulant.
What?
Effectively a poison, to make one susceptible to visions.
Oh.
Well, got a few ingredients to choose from. Unfortunately, all are pretty rare. There's Mamoon glands, but closest ones I know of are in Vizima. A spotted white saliva would also serve, but they were cold to extinction over a century ago. Could go with a kobold's eyes, but the creatures are sentient. Rather not gouge one's eyes out.
Given that we lack the time to sleuth this out ourselves, permit me to summon some help.
Summon? Oh, they're gonna zoom in on the hand? Gonna twitch? Oh, it is.
What was that?
A raven? Rather a common sight at this latitude. Very intelligent fowl. I asked him to look for the creatures you mentioned. Him and his brethren. Perhaps they'll find one in the area, and I would hazard that a flock of ravens will spy any said creature faster than a solitary witcher would. With all due respect to your skills, my friend. It will take them some time, nonetheless. So,
No offense
perhaps you'll
taken.
care for a snifter of mandrake.
Sorry, Regis, we could use a nap right about now. It's rather late at the moment. I suppose so. Why not? He's an old friend. We'll shoot the breeze a bit.
Rarely say no to a snifter.
Sadly, this is but a weak infusion rather than a proper distillate.
Even better. I remember your mandrake hooch. Made people say things they'd have rather kept to themselves.
Now, what could Geralt of Rivia prefer to keep to himself?
Let's see. No, I think he's from what I understand, a very close friend. But it does... I mean, so I don't think we go this route. This one does also, though, seem a bit like a whole... I don't really want to talk to you about this stuff, Regis. Although maybe probing a little bit more as to Regis's intentions. Whereas this is just like, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to tell you. So, I don't know, maybe this is sort of like a middle ground. I am curious why Regis is so keen on learning more.
So, think you've set a nice little trap for me? Sorry. Want to get me to confess? Gonna have to try harder.
I love a challenge. In that case, my ears are cocked. What must I do?
How about you get the ball rolling? Reveal one of your secrets. Vampires, intriguing creatures, must lead fascinating lives.
Anything in particular interest you?
Oh, man. Very interesting. Okay, I think we go with all the lighter-colored ones first. But yeah, it has been basically 3 entire games, or almost 3 entire games, in which we've heard but never seen, or heard of but never actually seen Regis. So, where have you been, and what have you been up to?
Curious what you did after you were reborn.
As I'm sure you can surmise, but first I was thoroughly absorbed with recovering. As it is, I've still not recovered completely. Yet I was so weak the first year that I could not stand nor move on my own. Detlef bore my weakness bravely, showed great patience. If not for him, I wouldn't be here, and I'd have regenerated far slower.
Yeah, but how... I mean, you're giving Detlef all this credit for helping you, but, like,
Once I could at
how does he
least
actually
stand
make you
and
heal
assist him,
faster?
I set off for Bruges, for my one-time home of Dillingen. There I led the peaceful life of a rural healer and surgeon, enjoying my neighbours' respect and, in fact, constituting the exact opposite of the monstrous vampire the populace imagines.
Bruges, you say? Rebirth make you sentimental?
Perhaps a dash. But what of you? Where have you been? Ever find your Cyrilla?
Back then, yeah. But we parted again soon after. And when the time was ripe, she came back. Defeated the Wild Hunt together.
Ooh. Seems I certainly missed quite a bit while I was absent.
True enough. But it's a conversation we'll have another time. Need to know more about you now.
What happens if you have this conversation, like if you do Blood and Wine before you finish the main quest? Does that conversation go differently? Okay, but, I mean, you were kind of sort of dead. Like, I know... So he gave us some explanation as to how he basically got revived by Detlef before. But I guess it was a while ago that we heard that, so I don't remember the details very well. But I guess maybe I was assuming that that was sort of like a one-time thing where something about, like, Detlef used his blood to help bring him back and have him heal. But I guess that kind of sounded like a one-time sort of thing. Like, okay, Regis is basically dead. I'm gonna, like, sacrifice my blood, like, just bleed on him. Then he's gonna get better. And he just, like, just stand there bleeding on him for, what, 10 minutes? Or Regis just then seemed to be implying that, no, this was a prolonged process. Doesn't really seem like something you do for over the course of days or weeks or months. Dialogue does change slightly if you've not yet finished the main quest. Interesting. Okay, so what is it like being dead?
Gotta ask you the big question. One everyone wonders about. What happens after death?
You wish me to tell you if the human belief in the gods is well founded? Well, that I do not know. We vampires differ exceedingly from you humans. Our matter, that of which we are composed, can exist without form. We require neither a heart, nor a brain, nor air to breathe.
What?
Are you dead?
As humans understand death, yes.
Feel anything? Understand anything?
It's rather hard to explain. I felt something very unsettling. Something I cannot even name, for I did no reasoning. Only after rebirth did I begin to understand that what I had felt was cold and unimaginable fear. If not for Detlef, I might have drowned in an eternity of icy terror.
Can't have been alive then. Sheesh, experience like that must be vicious.
Indeed, it's hard to compare to anything I know. Yet you are aware we don't see death as you do. The way you cling to life, we find it entirely peculiar. You are mortals, ergo it's a foregone conclusion. You will die. It's but a question of time. Thus, I often find myself wondering why you try so very hard. To die at 20 years, 40, even 100, what's the difference? They're all but the blink of an eye.
Depends on your point of view. Man who's got 1,000,000 crowns to spend can't possibly understand one who's only got 20.
Very true. One's outlook can indeed change much.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Regis might be immortal, and therefore, to him, it's like, you know, it's a blink of an eye no matter what, 20, 40, 100 years, but at the same time, someone who only lives 20 or 40 years, 40 is obviously double 20, that's a pretty big deal. How are you handling abstinence? Not drinking, I was gonna say, at first, I saw abstinence, I was like, we're drinking alcohol? Are you referring to alcohol? Because that's definitely not the case, but not drinking blood.
Got a new life, new body. That give you a new start, blank slate?
Starting all anew is a very broad concept. What exactly do you mean?
Your blood addiction, say. Wondering if your body's the same, if it still remembers. Maybe if you drank now, you wouldn't get hooked.
I wouldn't tempt him right now.
Re-addiction's not a risk I'm willing to take, just to test a hypothesis about corporeal regeneration and whether propensities carry over.
Fair enough. Curiosity, that's all. Sorry.
Not to worry, Geralt. Curiosity is a natural reaction under the circumstances, apart from which I've always valued that trait in you.
What about, like the regeneration process? I mean, we saw, it's one thing, we've heard Regis talk a lot about getting revived from Detlef, but even just earlier, when we were fighting Detlef briefly, and Detlef ripped Regis's heart out, and then in a matter of, like, 5 seconds, Regis was like, oh yeah, don't worry about me, I'm fine. That's pretty crazy. That's very powerful regeneration.
Always fascinated me the way vampires can regenerate. A hand growing back is one thing, but Detlef recreating you out of a wet smear...
Also that.
Something else entirely.
A difficult and laborious process, but one that's possible, as my presence proves. But I've heard you too had quite the adventure. They say you lost your memory.
That's nothing in comparison, come on.
But Triss helped me get it back. Actually, pretty damn lucky I only had amnesia.
Yes, you humans are rather buggered in those terms. To strip you of life is, well, it's just plain easy. I've always pitied you in that regard. We vampires are much harder nuts to crack. If a member of another race kills one of us, we can be reborn with a living higher vampire's help.
Yeah, so that's what happened to you.
If one of our own strikes the deadly blow, death is permanent.
Huh?
There can be no rebirth. One of the chief reasons why vampires long ago swore never to fight one another.
Huh. Okay. Not sure how that really works. How the higher vampire body can distinguish between being killed by another higher vampire and something entirely different, but okay. Maybe there's something that you were specifically looking to ask us about, though.
All right, give you one question. What do you want to know?
One question to ask one as fascinating as you, Geralt. Cruel parsimony, I'd say, but I shall do my best to make it count. If you were to die and be reborn as I was, in your new life, would you choose to be a witcher?
Oh, interesting question. I mean, we know nothing about Geralt's life before becoming a witcher, right? So, not a lot to go off. I mean, you could maybe say that we would still be in a relationship with Yennefer and or have adopted Ciri, but even those things are perhaps unlikely in those set of circumstances if we were living a totally different life. So I think for that reason I'd say, yeah, we'd probably still be a witcher.
See, Regis. Doubt I'd know how to be anything else.
Ever tried?
See, you're determined to get an answer, to find out if I like being a Witcher. Just refuse to ask directly, as always.
Like, yeah, you got me.
I like being on the path. I like picking up a lead, a trail. I like the tension right before a fight. And nothing gets my adrenaline flowing like battling a beast. Even gotten used to people treating me like a freak, an outcast. Yeah, not something I think about much, but I like being a Witcher.
Thank you for being honest. Honesty is an attribute of the truly brave, and thus a privilege of the very few.
Still no sign of your winged friend. Sure it understood what you wanted?
Dead certain. Let's wait a bit longer. It'll return soon, don't doubt that for a moment.
Is that it right there? Oh, for a second I thought that stone on the top of the piece on the top of the gravestone was the raven.
Ever vigilant, even in his sleep. Quite vampire-like, in fact. Are you absolutely certain they don't administer a few of our genes during the trial of the grasses?
Huh. Appreciate the compliment. It does seem like it was a compliment, and I mean, not that we know of, but I guess acknowledge the compliment.
Appreciate the compliment. Got something for me?
You were right. No kobolds or mamoons for miles around.
Knew it.
Allow me to finish. You see, there's this spotted white. It haunts an abandoned residence in the Caraberta woods.
Impossible. My brethren hunted down every last spotted white before I was born.
Then it seems you must revise your knowledge of spotted whites. For somehow this one managed to survive your brethren's onslaught. It seems I know this home it haunts. Recall a tale about it. Locals believe the place cursed. Perhaps that's how the white survived entirely unmolested.
Okay. What's this about the curse, though?
Know anything else about this curse?
I don't recall much in particular. Really don't attach much importance to such things. It was mentioned to me as an anecdote, no more.
Come on, search your memory. Something, anything could be important.
I believe it had a relation to hunger, or, perhaps greed, rapacity. Someone was punished for something...
Textbook definition of a curse, pretty much.
Sorry, Geralt, I try not to clutter my mind with the details of every far-fetched tale I happen to hear. What are your thoughts?
A specimen of a species thought long extinct, and a curse in one place. That a coincidence, or are they related?
Ah, professional curiosity. Personally, I've nothing against you delving into this dilemma, but please remember we need the white's saliva. Nothing beyond that.
Okay, but do you know anything else about this white? Has it done anything particularly evil that might mean that we would say see fit to fight it to the death? It's kind of our specialty.
Whites rarely appear in the woods, even less likely to find them in abandoned human homes. They inhabit remote wildernesses, old abandoned cemeteries.
What's your point?
This might not be a spotted white after all. Your little helper might have made a mistake.
I sincerely doubt it. Ravens are devilishly intelligent creatures, and they've highly developed observational skills.
What exactly did they observe?
The area around the estate, it's covered in spoons.
Spoons?
What?
Spare me the skeptical smile. I'm but the bearer of this news. Or perhaps this spotted white is a hoarder, or the spoons are somehow related to the curse.
Okay. I guess it's time to investigate Spoon World.
Let's do this. Start making your decoction while I go get some saliva from that white. Uses it in its brews.
Do you imagine the white will simply sell you some?
Worst case scenario, I'll bring you its salivary glands. They ought to do as well.
For a moment there, I imagined you asking the white to spit into a vial.
Oh, we can give it a shot.
Quite amusing as a thought, but the salivary glands will do fine indeed.
Well,
So,
presumably if we're getting
see you
those, we're
later.
fighting to the death.
Yes, till later. I shall start by perusing some tomes.
Tomes? Thought you were gonna make this decoction.
We require one last ingredient. Alas, obtaining it could prove a trifle toilsome. Thus I
Okay.
hope to identify a suitable alternative.
All right. Good luck.
And to you, my friend.
Care to tell us what that ingredient might be? Ah, okay, we can read the bestiary to learn more. We're getting lots of updates here. Okay. Let's check bestiary on that spotted white. Gonna be a cursed one or a specter, probably one of those. We heard about both head-ins before a long time ago. I'm not sure we actually ever fought one, just random thought. Thought we heard they might be in Skellige. I don't think we saw any there. Okay, so my other thought is... Oh, Necrophage? Something new here. Scurver... Oh. This we did see recently. That might be the reason why this is lighting up. No spotted whites here, okay. Best defense against spotted whites? Stay calm and leave them alone. Fragment of a treatise on spotted whites by Roderick Gilligan. Spotted whites are a subspecies of white, which the Witchers drove to extinction, or so they thought. They were larger than their unspotted kin, okay, and owed their names to their numerous blotches and effusions. Spotted whites would most often dwell in derelict cemeteries and empty wildernesses, and at times took to living in abandoned human domiciles. There, they would indulge in their greatest passion, creating brews from their own emissions. Ugh. When not disturbed, spotted whites would not act aggressively. If threatened, however, they became very dangerous indeed. In the colder months, or when faced with an unreasonable chill, they would slip into a state of lethargy, making them easy targets. Even during their active periods, it is said the Witchers found a surefire way of besting them, based around careful casting of the Jurden side, or at least, so claims Witcher lore. Okay, so Necrophage oil, of course, then Igni and Jurden. Okay. So... Oh, and we have seen, very briefly, we saw, I think, one, maybe two whites. When was this? In a cave, when we were helping Vivian? And they seemed pretty tough. Didn't they, they spawned in Barghest, I think? And that, I mean, Barghest are also fairly difficult, so that's kind of a nasty combo. And so if the spotted white can do that as well, and it's just bigger and badder than the normal whites, then that could be a difficult opponent. But it sounded like there's maybe a chance we can avoid conflict here. Let's see. So it's taken us down in this direction, and I do think there was a Witcher School diagram around here. It might be this question mark. Let's double check that real quick. It might be that one. Oh, and it's under, yeah, this is Scavenger Hunt. Okay. Is it this? This is Griffin. No, not Griffin. Ursine. Across the river, but no. Wolf School. Not that far, but, well, it's not really where we're looking. I thought there was one that was further down south in this area. Let's see. Manticore? Might be. That's close to the one we were just looking at. Probably not close and... Well... Where was the other spot? Was it down here? With the white? Or that's maybe not out of the question. That was Manticore. And Feline is probably highest priority, because that's the one that we would like to use ourselves, and that's way up north. Definitely not that. think that's all of our Witcher School gears. I think it was the Manticore I was thinking of then. Just how close is it? Manticore is there versus... It's not the question mark. Perhaps most importantly. Versus this, I probably should have marked it on our map, but it's on the way, it seems. More or less. You think this is one of the best parts of the main questline? Okay, nice. I'm looking forward to it then. Yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll hit a few of these question marks along the way, and maybe we'll make a point of going with the Manticore diagram, picking that up as well. Let's do that. Oh, what is this more extravagant? Great. Martina Lipinska, engineer and pug lover. Solved the most obtuse technical problems in all the duchy with the grace of a ballerina. Well done. Okay, so we'll head over in this direction. We have our treasure hunt active, but let's also just put a custom marker on the question marks, because that's probably what we're gonna make more points of going to first. Definitely some enemies around here. And this, I think, is further in this direction than we've ever gone. So we could very well run into any of a number of new and unexpected things here. We'll keep our eyes peeled. I think for that reason we won't hop on Roach. We'll try to just do things with Geralt and Geralt alone. I don't know what that is. That way we don't zoom past anything. Okay. Almost a pathway. Sort of. Okay. Some signs of enemies here. Guessing that's going to be the question mark, and I'm guessing this might be a monster's nest. Save just in case. Oh, I heard something. Giant centipedes, question mark? Would be my guess? Yeah, I think so. Where are you? Also, I'd love to have the stamina to use Jurden right now. Guarded treasure, actually. Yes, it is at least one, but I imagine probably more than one. Giant centipede, please come closer. And step into my Jurden, bro. Right here. Well, so much for that. Let's go closer. You, man. Just let me place a Jurden, bro. Here we go. This is what we want. Okay, one down. This one, actually, if you want to go into this Jurden as well, that'd be great. Although you didn't. If you could just, like, let me do this. And if you want to just pop up, like, right here. Oh, except you didn't. Whoa! That's the first time we've seen it do that. It just tackled us. It was kind of hilarious, to tell you the truth. One moment for the Jurden, please. Oh, I did not successfully dodge that. Step into the Jurden. It is right here. No, you want to, except you didn't. It is not cool, so I'll do it the old-fashioned way. You aren't dead. Oh, that's also new. Okay, we're learning more about those giant centipedes. Those are some cool moves. I do like them. He says when he has Quen on and is not actually taking damage from them. If that were not the case, I might think differently of them. Please bob up right here. Oh, you just missed. Okay, just let me, like, poke you. This guy's not being very cooperative. There we are. You on? You're just barely in the circle. Hold up, hold up, hold up. There we go. Okay. It was a guarded treasure. Let's see what you were guarding that gave. Ooh. Severed human body. Lovely. Lovely indeed. Just what I was looking for. How did you know? Oh, still more? I think it's just this now. Letter to Gregory Pickseed. Crowns and other junk. Let's see. Dear Sir, I trust this letter finds you in good health. As per our earlier correspondence, I would like to commission you from your geological survey to use in determining in which location we shall find the most fitting soil for expanding our vineyard's acreage. I suspect my messenger has already given you your retainer. As a final matter, I'd like to warn you against putting too much faith in the rumors which various beggars and vagrants have been spreading through our community in the last weeks. We, in this area, do not have any problems with giant centipedes or monsters of any sort, and you may begin your work at once, with no need to fear. I wish you success and eagerly await the results of your survey. Count Vladimir Crespi. Crespi is, of course, the guy who was sabotaging the other vineyards. So, did he knowingly send this person here just to get destroyed? Possibly. Doesn't exactly seem like a stand-up gentleman.